Within a religion, theology requires spiritual discernment, to hone in on something true that's beyond just your own idea system. This is what all of our religions are. They all evolved, they came about. You can think the Bible plopped down one day, but it didn't quite. And the creeds emerged later and were fought over and modified. Theology Without Walls says, don't limit your understanding of the divine or the ultimate just to your confession, and not if you want to know the fullest story possible. We're going to try to take in more understanding of the ultimate reality than just what is in our tradition. There are a lot of brilliant people out here who are spiritually deep, and let's see what they all come up with. What often seems to people like the safe choice is to, go with one of the name brands where they've got it organized. You got a multi-thousand-year history with the wisest and spiritual masters, and they've got canonical text in whatever tradition, a tradition of interpreting those texts, canonical figures, kind of iconic figures that are revered for their insight or exemplification of the right kind of way to live. The problem with that is it's not that safe. Knowledge does not normally proceed by having criteria up front. You drink a lot of wine before you come up with criteria for a good Chablis, right? It's a kind of retrospective summation, and that's how most life is. Judgments, think of your moral judgments. A lot of wrong behavior is the attempt to count oneself an exception. But those are always tested against the judgments that are more certain than the principles. In the spiritual area, that's what one usually means by spiritual discernment. Picking the brand, in a way, is you're saying they have an impressive history, and there's something about them, I admire, or maybe it's what I was born into, so I'm going to, you might say, delegate my discernment to them. In the cognitive area of life, that's actually a reasonable thing to do. So there's nothing exactly wrong with delegating it. However, you do have to realize the decision you're making. You can hand it over, but then at great risk. The decision is, you might say, radically personal. And I don't mean personal in the sense of subjective or arbitrary. You're in the realm of judgment. Judgments are particular. They have to do with you and your situation. That's true of practical judgments. It's true of moral judgments. At the same time, to say it's of everything, it's a coincidence, even when it's begging for the dots to be connected in a way that tells you something. And the key does seem to be a kind of spiritual growth such that your own emotions aren't sweeping your way, your ego isn't. The task of discernment isn't just which big picture is right. There are various spiritual practices designed for spiritual growth, to move you forward or deeper, whatever metaphor seems apt. And you can try them. That's an advantage of those, you see, though you still have to have the discernment to see, am I actually growing and becoming deeper, more insightful, more integrated? You're in this life, you're living it, you've got to make choices, and it's urgent to you to choose what's valid rather than invalid. Your life is a kind of spiritual drama. And what is your role in that drama? What is your future? What is your mission? What is your calling? Discernment is inescapable.